Right then, it's a quick walk around video for a fabulous looking car. This is a Lexus RX 450 and it's the F Sport model. Finished in black with a full black leather interior. Car's covered 68,000 miles. It comes with a full Lexus history right up to the service we've just done on the car ourselves. I think there's 5 services done by Lexus prior to the one we did. Really stunning looking cars these. Front of the car menacing looking with this huge grille. Very clean and tidy, only the odd very light mark. The bonnet very clean as well. Then down the near side of the car first, passenger side, lovely and smooth in the panel work. Can't see any obvious sort of dents jumping out at me at all. Back the quarter angle, really impressive looking piece, that really is. And the back again, very nice. To the offside, driver's side, nice and smooth in the panel work. Really lovely looking car. Only, it's a, what's it now, 7 years old. The odd age-related mark which you're naturally going to expect to see on any car. Let's come into the back of the car now. As you can see, it's got its load liner with a partition there as well. It's been kept very nicely. Let's come into the back now. Loads of room in the back of these cars. Full black leather. Again, all very nice indeed. Come to the front now on the passenger side. Full set of Lexus mats in the car, of course. And passenger seat again, very nice condition. Finally coming on the driver's side, the door card all very clean, same with the footwell areas. Driver's seat itself again in very good condition there. So we're inside the car now. Engine is running, as is always the case, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Sat nav, big screen on these later versions, all working perfectly. Just pop the car into reverse, hope you can see rear parking camera again working exactly as intended. But it really is a stunning looking interior in this car. So finally come to the dashboard binnacle, beautifully laid out. There are no warning lights on. The only light you can see there is for low fuel. And hopefully, sorry, I was just trying to get the mileage up for you there. 68,371. That is a beautiful car. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video. And this is for a Lexus RX 450 and it's the F Sport model. The car is registered YX66NXW and mileage at the start of the road test is 68,371. The reason we do all of our videos, and especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important is because, unfortunately, like loads of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out there's something fundamentally wrong with it when you drive the car. So hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire. And this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. And the theory being, of course, that it would then be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, as you'll know from the advert no doubt, the car's been very well maintained. All of the servicing, right up to the service we've just done on the car, was done by the Lexus main dealers. I think it was the same Lexus dealership actually did all of it, which is rather nice. And you can tell as soon as you're driving the car because it just feels as solid as a rock on the road, it really does. Going through the cars, I always do, starting with, in this case, hybrid system, so engine and hybrid. Push button start, engine and systems generally just whir silently into life, and then so the engine kicks in as and when it wants to. These are, as Lexus like to refer to them, self-charging hybrids. So basically what they're trying to get at is that, unlike lots of cars where you plug-in ones, you're going to be sort of panicking if you're getting low on battery. On this one, no, not at all, because all you're going to do is fill it up with fuel, run low on fuel and fill up again. It's as simple as that. You run it and drive it like any normal petrol car. And so it is kind of joyfully simple to kind of own and run. And if you've never driven one of these, you're in for a shock, because they are, even now, it kind of beggars belief how seamless the whole experience is, how smooth, just the lack of any kind of jarring when you're slowing down, picking up speed. Low speed manoeuvres particularly are where these excel and make, particularly their turbo diesel competitors seem very clunky by comparison. First of all, you've got this beautiful engine, which is soft-edged, sweet, silky, loves to rev. It's there, you can hear it, which is really nice, but you're hearing something beautifully tuneful, and so easy on the ear. It's so incredibly refined and quiet on the move. They really are. It is exceptional, but where they tend to sort of, as they say, show up their competitors is manoeuvres a bit like they want to come and do now. And just going to come to a stop, and with competitors you can feel them going down through the gears, go to pull away, accelerate. It's just all completely seamless. There's nothing that sort of jars at all or grates. It's amazing. And this sort of started with the 400s and the CTs and that kind of stuff, and even now they said they're head and shoulders above their competitors. Incidentally, there are no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car, apart from a low fuel light currently. Temperature gauge running just under a half, just over a third, which is pretty much exactly where it's meant to be on one of these as well. So all in fine order. Engine obviously goes through into the gearbox. It is CVT, which is constantly variable transmission, which basically means there are no gears as such. You put your foot down, engine revs pick up, and it kind of catches up with it. But it does so, as I said, without any gear change. It's so smooth. Everyone that drives them is kind of bowled over by them. Where people have an issue with CVT tend to be on smaller engine cars where the revs rise. If you've got a coarse sounding engine, they can be a bit drony. Bigger the engine, the better these things work, and this is a classic example because it works beautifully with it, absolutely beautifully. Only if you're ridiculously heavy-footed will you ever get the engine to really sort of rev itself up a lot. But most people don't drive like that, fortunately. So coming to the steering and chassis of the car, the steering of the car is very well weighted. It makes the car feel nice and substantial on the road. It's positive and accurate without pretending for a second it's sporty, because it is not. Of course, it is a luxury car, but what it does give you is lovely control of the vehicle. And so they've got the weighting pretty much spot on for this type of car. The ride is extraordinarily comfortable, really is. And this is a really horrible pitted section of road, which I'm also listening out for any sort of clonks or rattles, and there's none at all. It's, as I said, it's just so solid. But it's such a well-judged ride. But equally, when you go through corners, you don't get lots of body roll. I mean, the one thing I would say about the old 400, the early ones, were they were lovely, comfy cars, but they didn't particularly like corners. They would loll up into them a little bit by modern standards. But this, we've got much tighter body control without sacrificing ride comfort at all. So they've done a fantastic job. The brakes, by the way, really good on the car. Brake pedals, powerful, solid. There's no pulsing or vibration coming back through the pedal. All these things, by the way, will be checked because we've already checked them, but it's going to go through an independent MOT before the car's sold. So whatever they say is what we adhere to. But I can't imagine they're going to find anything much on this car. And then finally, coming inside, this is a truly luxurious place to sit and drive a car. It's got a modern take, but you're surrounded by very high quality materials, beautifully bolted together. These are supremely well made cars, but it's just a lovely, lovely environment. You've got the perfect driving position. You've got a multitude of adjustments you can make on the seats, of course, which are heated and cooled. You've You've also got heads-up display, so I can, I've got the display down here, but you can configure it differently, and also sat-nav information floating in the ether directly in front of me there, which works very well indeed. More modern sat-nav, quicker to respond than previous systems. Very simple and easy to use. You've got your little mouse pad, which you've again slightly better than the last generation. They've just improved tiny little details all the way along. It's a very highly equipped car, of course. There's loads of information. You've got your cableless charging there, little docking point there for mobile phones. Beautiful little dash display in front. Really lovely detailing in here. Lexus have always done that fantastically well, and this one's no different. And finally, this lovely leather-bound F-Sport steering wheel. It is a monster of a car. It's a lovely car to drive. We've sold a few of these. Everyone loves them. It's not only is it a lovely looking car, but it's ludicrously refined, wonderful, and I can't fault it, not in any way.